Pirates Hideaway at Casino Pier is a bizarre roller coaster. This steel coaster was built by Wisdom Rides, and it features an eye-catching facade, a spiral lift hill, 2 outdoor drops, and a mysterious enclosed layout. But is there anything to see on the inside? Find out in this review of Pirates Hideaway. Until 2003, Casino Pier was home to Wizard's Cavern, an old mock Wildmouse that served as an inspiration for Pirates Hideaway. Wizard's Cavern had many of the same characteristics: an equally fancy facade, a spiral lift hill, 2 outdoor drops, and a mostly enclosed layout. Wizard's Cavern had an extensive history. The coaster was relocated more times than almost any other coaster. The ride originally opened in 1959 on the German fair circuit as Broadway Trip, before coming to America, where it operated for brief stints at Seattle's now defunct Fun Forest Amusement Park, Cedar Point, and New Jersey's now defunct Palisades Amusement Park from 1962 to 1967. After the 1967 season, Palisades Park had Mack refurbish the coaster and reintroduce it as the Love Bugs for the 1968 season. Just a few years later, the ride was again relocated, this time to Nantasket Beach's now defunct Paragon Park, and then the Canadian National Exhibition in Toronto. While the exact date is not known, Love Bugs was rethemed as Wizard's Cavern and reopened at Casino Pier sometime in the 1980s. Because of the ride's age and frequent relocations, it's no surprise that Wizard's Cavern reached the end of its service life after the 2003 season. The ride didn't have the best reviews from enthusiasts, but coaster fans could appreciate the ride's history. But Wizard's Cavern's story didn't end here. The ride was apparently a fan favorite among most parkgoers, so Casino Pier opened the spiritual successor to Wizard's Cavern in 2007 in Pirates Hideaway. The ride was oddly built by Wisdom Rides. While Wisdom has built over 100 roller coasters worldwide, they mostly build kiddie coasters. Pirates Hideaway is actually one of the largest coasters ever built by them, even though it's no more than 25 feet or 8 meters tall. And like its predecessor, Pirates Hideaway has been relocated, this time just once, and within the confines of Casino Pier. During the 2016-2017 off-season, Pirates Hideaway was moved across the boardwalk to accommodate Hydrus, the park's Gerstlauer Eurofighter. The ride has a carnival-esque facade more reminiscent of a traveling dark ride or funhouse than a roller coaster. And to the ride's credit, the pirate ship-themed cars actually look fantastic. They have all sorts of details in the front and sides of the train. Between the facade and the cars, you'd think this coaster has some really nice theming on the inside. But spoiler alert, it does not. I think they used all their budget on the outside of the ride. While the cars look cool, they do have some issues when you actually go to ride them. The biggest issue is the lack of legroom, particularly in the front row. The other issue is the extremely tight lap bars that feels like they were designed for children and not adults. Both these can cause a serious discomfort if you're a taller rider. Unlike most coasters with a fancy control system, Pirates Hideaway is downright archaic, which is stunning considering this coaster was built within the past 15 years. The operators have to manually push trains out of the station, and there is nothing stopping trains from bumping into each other in the station. It's not a violent collision or anything, but how many other rides casually just let trains bump into each other like that? Not many. Pirates Hideaway begins with a spiral lift hill. You're propelled to the top via this egg beater mechanism, which is very reminiscent of what Zamperla used on their Volares, and you really don't ever want to be compared to a Zamperla Volare, do you? The first drop is quite snappy. I actually think I got a faint pop of airtime, despite how it's probably no more than 15 to 20 feet tall. You then rise up a small hill, round a corner, and drop down the ride's second largest drop, which can't be more than 10 to 15 feet tall. You then rise up another hill, and then the issues start. For one, you are harshly braked. Remember how I said you have a lack of legroom and tight restraints? This causes you to have a high chance of banging your knees and/or getting punched in the gut if you're an adult. It is not very comfortable. And at this point, you enter the ride's show building, expecting a grand reveal of pirates. However, you get nothing. I'm not even exaggerating when I say this, but you will find more theming at your local Walmart. The ride is called Pirates Hideaway, but it really should be called Pirates in Hiding. there are no pirates at all. No animatronics, no statues, and not even a cheap sticker. It is just a big empty warehouse with nothing to look at. The warehouse also lets in quite a bit of light, which does spoil the layout. You have a small series of dips traveling the length of the building. None of the dips are particularly fast, nor do they offer any thrills, but they're at least comfortable, just boring. The issues re-emerge when you reach the lower level of the ride. There's a break before the final pass that can sharply bring the train to a halt. When this happens, get ready for your knees and stomach to take more abuse. More often than not, you are just lightly tapped, which does present another issue. Every single turn on Pirate's Hideaway is unbanked. This is not an issue for most of the ride when you're traveling rather slowly, but it does become an issue at the end of the ride when you're on the lower level with a full head of speed built up. Now keep in mind, you're not going faster than 15 miles per hour or 24 kilometers per hour, but it is enough to inflict pain at the end when you see how tight the turns are. Pirate's Hideaway's finale consists of 2 sharp hairpin turns. Normally, I praise coasters for delivering strong laterals, but that is contingent upon them having comfortable trains. Pirate's Hideaway does not. So it can really bang you up when you're thrown side to side in those really cramped cars. To add insult to injury, those 2 violent turns are followed by the ride's final brake run, which will sharply stop you, so you're going to slam your stomach and knees yet again. If you're a larger person, there is no way to avoid these slams in Pirate's Hideaway. I'm small enough that I can avoid these issues by angling my legs and body sideways and bracing myself on all the stops and turns. But when you have to ride a coaster so defensively, can you really call it fun? So what would I rate Pirate's Hideaway? I would give this enclosed coaster a 2 out of 10. Quite simply, it is not a very good ride. Not in the least bit. Despite the flashy exterior, this ride has zero theming on the inside, which is a wasted opportunity in my opinion. The ride just consists of an underwhelming series of small, slow drops and potentially painful breaks and turns. The ride is among the worst paced coasters in the world, and it needs to be ridden defensively. Since I'm able to ride this coaster defensively, it does narrowly avoid my top 25 worst coaster list, but it came really close to making that list. So those are my thoughts on Pirate's Hideaway, the awkward Wisdom Rides hybrid coaster, and dark ride at Casino Pier in Seaside Heights, New Jersey. Have you ridden this coaster? Or have you ridden the original Wizard's Cavern in any of its locations or iterations? What are your thoughts on this odd attraction? I would love to hear your thoughts down in the comments. If you enjoyed this review, I'd appreciate if you gave this video a like, and you considered subscribing, because there'll be a lot more roller coaster and amusement park videos here at Canopy Coaster. Thanks for watching.